Hello?
Hello, how you doing, Kendra?
Good. What's your name, boo?
Alicia Pitts,
Alicia. Alicia, where you calling us from?
New Jersey.
New
And I'm
Jersey.
so surprised I got on here.
You're on.
I know everybody say that.
It's Alicia.
Yes, Alicia.
Alicia, how old are you?
I am 48 years old. August 23rd, I will be 49.
Okay, 49, August 23rd. Is that a Virgo?
Yes,
Okay.
it depends on what horoscope, because some say I'm on the cusp. It just depends on which horoscope you go
Okay.
through.
What do you do for a living, Alicia?
Actually, I just got promoted on my job. I work for a county welfare agency as a human service specialist.
Okay. County Welfare Agency. Do you have any kids?
I have one child, which is she's an adult. She'll be 30 September 11th.
Okay. Have you ever been married?
Never married.
Never married. All right. This is Alicia, New Jersey. Works for the County Welfare Agency. She's 48. She'll be 49 this year. She's a Virgo. Has one child that's 30. What kind of man you looking for?
A God-fearing man.
That's it?
Well, if he God-fearing, everything else should be on point. That's the way I'm looking at it.
So you've never been married. Do you want to wait for marriage for sex?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So are you currently celibate or abstinent?
Yes, absolutely.
How many years?
Over a decade.
You haven't had sex in 10 years?
Okay, this is this is the story, my story is out there. I only been with one man, which was my daughter's father.
Okay.
Okay, and it was just something that had happened. The first time, mind you, I was like 18, 19 at that time. He was just trying to penetrate me, and I got pregnant. So when my daughter turned 6 months, I had sex with him again, and I haven't been with a man since. But let me put this let me put this disclaimer out there. At one point in time, I was in the lesbian lifestyle, but I'm no longer. I'm I'm a reverend now.
Whoo, child.
Yeah.
So you haven't
Yes.
had penis in 30 years, but you had
Yes.
tongue faster than that.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to understand, child. So when did you stop being a lesbian?
Over a decade ago.
So over a decade ago, you gave up the lesbian lifestyle, and now you
Yes.
desire a husband.
Correct.
How long have you been a reverend for?
About 13 years.
Okay, so in the 13 years of your journey, you haven't found it. You haven't found anybody that's like-minded or somebody that you wanted to share your life with?
Well, at one point in time, I would say maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, I was out on the dating scene. I went out on the dating scene for about a year and basically didn't end up in any type of relationship. And the thing was, it was either like men that were acting like, okay, they're in church or whatever have you, and they really wasn't in church, or under false pretenses, right? People try to connect with you under false pretenses, and basically it's almost kind of like that quote unquote Steve Harvey rule, 90-day. Once the 3 month came, they were out, because when I date, I want to date with the purpose of being married. As the end result, not I'm dating this person 3 months here and 3 months there, and then, like I said, then here comes a year and you're not in a relationship with anyone.
Listen, I think it's admirable, right? I think it's admirable that you change your life to around, and now you're a reverend. I just asked you this question. Let's say, life goes on, and life continues to goes on, and you never find a guy to align with. Are you okay with that?
I would have to be.
Okay.
I would have to be. Honestly, Kendra, I've never like cohabitated with anyone. So I've always lived alone. So I know that whoever God blesses me with, number one, they're going to have patience, because of course, with me being single and not living with anyone for so long, there's going to be that learning curve, right? And the
Yeah.
thing is,
Okay.
you know, I'm not looking for a perfect person, just someone who is perfect for me. And I'm saved for real. I'm a Christian for real. Like I'm a disciple for real. So especially with me being a leader and stuff in the community, I don't have time for no flim flam. I have low tolerance for flim flam, and I'm a firm believer that, when we are adulting and we are adults, just say what it is. Just be real. You don't have to try to manipulate and do all these different things just to get somebody in bed or whatever your underlying reason is. Because I'm a firm believer, whatever you into, it's out there. You might have to look a while, but whatever you into, you can get into that. But just be honest with people, and I think that's the problem. Is people just don't want to be honest. They sometimes they come under false pretenses.
Did you give up the lesbian life? Like, when did you find the Lord on your journey?
Well, technically, um, I've been in church all my life. I've been in church all my life. I like to say I was practically near born at the altar. So I gave my life to the Lord when I was a young child, like 12 years old. That was my first preaching sermon. And then, of course, I fell away. Wasn't perfect or anything of that nature. And then I just made up my mind that I'm going to do it the right way. I've done it wrong so long. I want to do it right. That way, when I do get married, I have the blessings of the Lord upon the marriage.
Fair enough. Here's the deal. I always say this. I ain't no relationship coach. I ain't no life coach. I ain't no
Mm-hmm.
therapist. I'm a professional journalist, right? But I'm also a woman. And I think,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're older than me. I can't give you any advice. You've been on this earth longer than me. But I will say this. I think women shouldn't be comfortable being single for so long, because then you get so comfortable being single, it's hard for you to partner with someone. And you're saying you never cohabitated with a person and you're almost 50 years old. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's gonna be tough. I mean, you got God on your side, so it's nothing's
Mm-hmm.
impossible, right? But I do think
Mm-hmm.
we have to be like, I think about, okay, you're a reverend. I'm quite sure there's men that are part of your congregation, or there was no suitable God-fearing men in your environment in the last 13 years.
Well, as we know, I any churches I have been pretty much a part of was not, like, I would say, like a mega church. That's number one. So what ends up happening is, if there are men in the church, 9 times out of 10 they're already married. Or on the flip side of that, either people are not practicing what they preach, or, as we know, there's some down low brothers in the church as well. For me, because of the lifestyle I came out of, I need a man's man, right? I need a real man. I don't want no flim flam. I want somebody that if something go down, you ain't running, but you're going to protect me, you know. And that was one thing I tried to open up. I had an open mindset. That's why I went out on the dating scene. I mean, I was on from Tinder to Plenty of Fish, right? And I would be on those platforms, and I did Christian Mingle, and the men was like, "You on the wrong platform," and I'm like, "Well, Christian Mingle ain't no better, you know." So I was trying to have an open mind about coming out of the box as far as getting on these dating platforms. And like I said, anytime you have 40 and 50-year-old men that they don't have no goals, something is wrong, you know. Or people was trying to say, I had one guy tell me, he was like, "Oh, you what we call high maintenance," and I'm like, "High maintenance? What are you talking about?" But what I realized was, because I'm established and, and I have things together, he considered that high maintenance. Or me practicing, celibacy and abstinence. One guy told me I wasn't living in reality. So these are, I can't talk about anyone else's experience. I can only talk about my experience, and this is what I was falling privy to. Or you have people, men that, right, string you along. They saying all the right things, but basically nothing's happening. I don't believe that I have to make a man to have one.
What's the age range you want to date?
I would say between, I'm gonna say 40 to 50.
So let me just stop right there. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for saying this for me. I feel like the Spirit is giving me this. So you said you don't feel like you have to make a man to have one, but in a
Mm-hmm.
sense, you want a man between 40 to 50. He would have to make you, because there's a lot of things as a woman that you come with lack of experience because you never experienced it, right? So you were honest with us saying you haven't had
Mm-hmm.
sex in over, since you're with a man anyways, over 30 years. You never lived
Mm-hmm.
with the man. So you don't want to have
Mm-hmm.
to make a man, but what you have to understand is any man that in that age category, he might not feel like teaching you everything on how to be a woman to a man. So
And that is true. Um, but here with me, with my faith, I believe whoever God gives me, because the truth of the matter is there's nobody that's perfect, right? There's going doesn't matter who it is. But I just believe whoever it is, whoever God gives me, they will have that patience. They will have that patience, because you think about it, even if, let's just say, if I didn't have sex in 10 years, when two people come together, you still have to learn what they like sexually or whatever. There's still a learning curve in that when you get together with somebody
yeah,
else.
but it's a little different when you ain't had sex in 30 years. Like, you know, like it's that's a little
Fair.
different. And then that guy has to listen. I
Well,
know
think about this,
I will
Kendra.
say this. I'm gonna just, I know the Lord is sensitive, right? So I don't even really like rebuttaling anything when people have strong
Mm-hmm.
beliefs when it comes to the Lord. So I respect that,
Mm-hmm.
and I say more power to you. What I just will say, the guy 40 to 50, you know, you gotta look at some life data too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've been around men for 13 years and something's not aligning, right? Something's not aligning. So if it's important, that's why I asked you if you never find someone to align your life with, you said you would be okay with that if that was to never happen. Not saying it's not
Yeah,
gonna
because
ever happen. Just
right.
asking, curious, how would you feel if it never did
Yes.
happen?
And okay, well, what do you okay, it's the same thing. Just think about it. If a man had a virgin, it would be the same thing.
If a 40, but we're talking about 40 to 50. So a virgin
Right.
man, you think a man that's a virgin between the ages of 40 and 50?
Hey, anything's possible.
Let me ask you this, because you were open and honest and said you used to date women, would you date a guy that was once gay or bisexual?
As long as I knew that he was done with that lifestyle, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, listen, I listen. You got the Lord. I don't play with the Lord. I don't even, like,
It's
your
okay.
beliefs are your beliefs, girlfriend. I ain't trying to rebuttal
Yeah.
nothing. But like you
Mm-hmm.
said, men in church are still men. And I think sometimes
Mm-hmm.
women, you know, you don't ever forget he might be a man of God, but he's still a man too. And then you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned it too. Some of the men, not all, because I hate to say this, because it's not true for all,
Right.
but it is true for some. The men that are going to be patient with you from church might be gay. And that's why he's able to be patient with you, because he's not naturally aroused by you, but he's not willing to admit that he's gay. And you might find out in marriage. Again, I ain't say that was every man in church, so hold your
Mm-hmm.
horses, okay? But that is a
Right.
component. That is a
Mm-hmm.
component. There are some
Mm-hmm.
men in church that fall back on that, and that's just kind of what it is. So we don't talk
Mm-hmm.
about that enough too. So listen, I wish you the best. You're a reverend now, and you know. Oh, I'm not sure if she got disconnected. I'm not sure if she got disconnected or if her phone hung up. Sis, everything is not spiritual. Kendra's telling you right. At least somebody. I don't really like talking. To be honest, I have a lot of thoughts, but I don't like sharing them because church is a very, very sensitive subject, and I am very respectful, and I am a believer too. And as a believer, I have experienced a lot of things with church. And I would just say, don't let everybody in church. Tyler Perry said this best. Church is like a hospital, right? So even though we're in church, everybody's dealing with stuff. Like, ain't nobody in church perfect. So you just always got to kind of think about that. But child, I want to see how this goes. 30 years. 30 years is a long time to not have had sex with a guy. And I don't know, maybe some men could talk about it more, child. But let's keep going. Woo, child. Someone said she hung up. She was a reverend. Woo, child. Like,